Hey, what's up?
Yes, it is recording. Never recorded on Zoom before, so very new to me. Well, welcome to our YouTube page. Very excited. Well, this is going to be one of our first videos. This is all new to us, also, so bear with us. But this will be fun. We're going to have a lot of great content that we're going to give out to you guys. Well, let me go ahead and introduce myself, and I'll let him introduce himself. My name is Cheyenne, and I'm one of the community preventionists that works at Call for Help here in St. Clair County, Illinois, right across the river from St. Louis.
And I'm Jaquis. I'm the other preventionist. And today we're just going to give you guys like a little brief introduction of what we do in our department at Call for Help. So yeah, it's going to be fun. So I guess I'll start. So we offer different services to survivors of sexual assault. So one of the services that we provide is counseling, and our counseling is available to anyone over the age of 4. And the only stipulation is that you have to be a survivor of some type of sexual violence. It could have happened like 50 years in the past. It could happen like a day ago. It doesn't matter. We also have services for significant others of people who have experienced sexual violence, as long as they're not like offending individuals. So they can get services from us as well. And it includes individual therapy, group therapy, couples, school-based therapy, art therapy, play therapy, a lot of different types. So it's a good fit for like anyone. Another thing that we have is resource advisement. And basically what resource advisors do is if there's something that you need that you can't find in our organization, we have people who are trained to like work with you to find different resources in the community. So like if you need help with like transportation or like filling out different applications for different programs, they'll kind of help you throughout that process.
Okay, so I'll go ahead. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and do our advocacy. So we do a lot of different things, as Jaquis already kind of told you about. So counseling, resource advisement, and we also do advocacy, which is like probably one of our big ones. In addition to counseling, so we have 2 different advocacy realms. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. So we have legal advocates and we also have medical advocates. So the legal advocates support all sexual assault survivors, whether or not they want to report the crime to law enforcement. So we, like that just said, we completely support the survivor's decision. We are client-centered or survivor-centered. So literally whatever choice they want to make. If they don't want to report to law enforcement, they don't have to. If they want to, then we're going to be here to support them also and just kind of help them through that process. So what exactly can legal advocates do? So they can provide you with different information about your legal rights and also your options, including like information about relevant Illinois laws, because I know that the legal system is super, super tricky. So our legal advocates are awesome because they'll help. They're highly trained. They are kept up to date and with everything that's changing. The only thing is we do not provide legal advice, though. We're just here to kind of inform you of all the different options. So another thing that our legal advocates do is that they accompany you to file a police report and or meet with law enforcement. They also help you communicate with the police and state's attorney's offices, and they can also help file for crime victims compensation. So that's like a whole nother realm, too, of what is involved in that, and that's something that I guess our legal advocates are very specialized in. And then a couple other things that they do is they assist in filing a petition for a protective order against the person who harmed you. So like a civil no contact order, stalking no contact order. I feel like there's another one, but it's blanking my mind right now. And then the last thing that our legal advocates do is provide the survivors with referrals and support for other services. So we, I think Jaquis mentioned this also, but we give out our services. All of our services are 100% free and 100% confidential too. And we provide these services to survivors and their significant others. So whether it be like their partner, their like best friend, their parents, like grandparents, like somebody else who's just like very affected by what happened also, as long as, like Jaquis said, they're not the ones who did the crime. So next we're going to go over to our medical advocacy. So our medical advocates are trained medical advocates, like I just said, who are on call 24/7 to provide in-person crisis support to survivors of sexual assault and abuse at treatment hospitals in the counties that we serve. So like I mentioned before, we service like St. Clair County. We also do Madison County, Jersey County, Monroe, and Randolph County. So for those of you who are not familiar with counties, it's just the counties that are east of St. Louis, so just across the Mississippi River. So like I said, on call 24/7. We have crisis workers over the weekends also, and then we also have people work on holidays as well. And these medical advocates act as a liaison with healthcare professionals to ensure that survivors' needs are met and that they are treated with dignity and respect. They also assist victims in the emergency room. So we highly recommend going to hospitals to get as soon as possible after an assault, to have the opportunity to get that evidence collection kit, or otherwise known as like a rape kit, completed. So by law, rape victims in Illinois should not be billed for that medical treatment. And if something were to happen where they were billed, then that's something else that our medical advocates can help with to get that out, because nobody wants to pay that. And then one thing to note is that if you do go to the emergency room to get that kit done, the hospital is required to notify the police, and as well as us. So the hospital has to call the local police department, or whatever police department, like whatever area that the assault happened, and then they also have to call us. But you're not required to file a police report. All they do is, like, the police officer shows up, and then they'll be like, hey, do you want to file for this? And that's completely your choice. So you get to make the decision on that. So some other things that our medical advocates do, so provide crisis counseling. They give you info about your medical concerns and like your right to treatment, because that's not something that, a typical person's probably not educated on. So they kind of explain your right to treatment on that. They also provide you with info about your legal rights and options, and then they help you communicate with hospital staff and police. They also assist you with immediate needs, so like transportation, shelter, referrals, and clothing. So whenever we go to the hospitals, typically they will take the articles of clothing that you're wearing as evidence, and so that kind of leaves you with no clothing. So we provide just like basic clothing, like sweatpants, like sports bra for women, underwear, different things like that. And then a couple other things. I know there's a whole lot with our advocates, so bear with me here. So they also connect you with other services like counseling and resource advisement, just like Jaquis had explained. And then they also assist you in following up medical treatment, such as like emergency contraceptive or like pregnancy options. They, like I mentioned before, assist you with resolving hospital bills that you may have received for the emergency treatment. And then they also can accompany you to file a police report and or meet with law enforcement. So our medical and legal advocates, they're the same, essentially. So or technically we're all advocates, so we can all do this, but we do have some that are more specialized, like with the legal stuff, because it's a little tricky. So yeah, and another thing to mention or to remind you guys is that all of our services are 100% free and confidential too. So that's something that is another great thing about Call for Help. So now Jaquis and I are going to tell you the best part of Call for Help. Yes, in our sexual assault victims care unit. And that is what him and I do. We have the fun part. We are the community preventionist. So we'll go ahead and talk to you guys about what we do.
All right, so as community preventionists, basically what our job is to go out into the community and educate people about what sexual violence is, what it looks like, and how we can stop it and what resources are available to them. So there's a bunch of different parts to our job. I think the biggest part that we do is the school-based education. So that's just going into schools K through 12 and even some universities and colleges. And doing different presentations with the kiddos. Everything we do is tailored to specific grades or specific ages, so it's always on their level and it's always relevant information.
So did I cut you off? I thought I heard something.
No, you did it.
Oh, okay. Something bounced back at me here. Sorry. Um, okay, so like Jaquis said, we do a main part of what we do is our school-based education. So like with our elementary school age kiddos, we teach about how their body belongs to them. So something that's important to note is that there's this thing called Aaron's Law here in Illinois, which requires all the schools to receive some kind of like body safety presentation, or kind of like sex ed, but we don't really do sex ed. We do kind of some more like relevant things, which I'll kind of get into it as we go. So we do like body safety. We teach about like the anatomy, like the naming, private parts, like what the difference is between a secret and a surprise. We also teach a little bit about consent, and we're also adding an internet safety lesson in there also because very relevant in these times. So each of the lessons come with a kid-friendly book reading as well, because there's a lot of great lessons, or there's a lot of great books out there that is kind of goes along with what we're doing.
And then once they get to middle school, we kind of change things up a bit. So we have this curriculum called Safe Dates, and it's mostly about healthy relationships. So how to identify a healthy relationship, what to do if you find yourself like in an unhealthy relationship, and how you can help your friends who might be in unhealthy relationships. And I think this is one of my favorite ones because it's a little different than the elementary school ones because we do like a lot more activities and there's a lot more discussion, and you really get to hear like what the kids actually like, their thoughts and their opinions, and it's just more of a discussion, just kind of like lead them in a way to like talking more about sexual violence.
I agree.
So it's personally my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. That's my favorite too. Okay, so going into high school, so we still continue that safe day curriculum just because there's so much to it. In addition to that, we also teach about like positive consent. We do like sexual assault / rape culture, especially like in sports. And then we also do like a Title IX presentation. Then we also do a presentation like on stalking. We talk a little bit more about healthy relationships. We have like a presentation for sexting, and we also have a presentation for teen dating violence.
And then after that, colleges and universities. So with colleges and universities, we do a lot more like regarding like rape culture, especially on campus, and in sports. And the big thing that we do is things with Title IX. So me and Cheyenne are still learning stuff about Title IX, because one of our advocates is a specialist in Title IX. So she is someone who usually does all that, but it's good to learn new things. So we help her out. We're starting to help her out a lot more with that. So we'll have some more Title IX presentations like with colleges and universities like within our area.
Yeah, especially since it's like changing, it changes a lot too. And then one more thing to mention with our college and universities, another program that we're going to start implementing is the Green Dot program. So basically that is just kind of teaching the faculty and students how to be a bystander. So very relevant. It's a great program. I know a lot of colleges and universities in our area require the students to do some kind of like sexual assault training before they can register for classes. But some of the schools do around here, especially the one like I went to, is not really effective for like teaching. I don't know. It's not that great. So we're going to try to do some new stuff, like some more activities on the college campuses and kind of be more present there too, because we do have a lot of universities and colleges in our service areas. I'll let you go ahead and talk about our community mobilization.
All right. Yeah. So then the other half of our job, I know the other part is like a big half, but then there's another part, is the community mobilization part. And that is basically just like going out into the community, like excluding schools. So like civic organizations, other social services organizations or agencies, and working with them, doing like professional trainings on how they can better support survivors of sexual assault, and just different things of that nature. So there's some bunch of different things that we could do. This one is like very open-ended. One of the things that I have done in regards to this is working with there's an organization called the Latino Roundtable of Southwestern Illinois, and basically it's just a group of different like agencies and organizations that are trying to bring different services to the Latino community here. So I've done a lot of things with them. I've helped them out with different like community projects that they've worked on, and it's also a good way to like network with other people. So I found some people that I might be able to like work with, give them some training on different subjects. So all good. We also have a new curriculum that we haven't started out yet because of the whole pandemic thing, but it's called Coaching Boys into Men. And basically, it's a program where I would be working with athletic directors and coaches, primarily in high schools, to train them on different ways that they can talk to their student athletes about rape culture and sexual assault. So basically, like training the teachers on how to do something. So I'm really excited to do that. Once everything calms down and we're able to like safely go out into the community more. So.
Hopefully. Yeah, we definitely miss being in the community because that's a huge part of what we do, obviously. So we're getting creative on how we are kind of like bringing education and awareness to like what we do, which is why we are starting this YouTube page because it's a great platform. Some other thing that we do as well that is mostly because of this whole pandemic going on is we created a Facebook page too. So we do different topics. So we originally started it for April for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And then we continued it on and did a couple different things. So like in June, we focused on Pride Month and just gave different facts about like Pride and like basically what it is and like how it can relate to sexual assault too. This past July and August, we did different sections on like what services we offer. So kind of like what we talked about today, but a little more in depth. So if you guys want to check that out, it is, well, first of all, like our Facebook page, Call for Help Inc. And then you can find the subgroup on there. It's called Sexual Assault Awareness. Or I think even if you just search it, then you can find it. And it should have our Call for Help logo on there. So you do have to answer a couple questions because we do keep it we do try to maintain a safe space there. So there's some questions that you'll have to answer. But yeah, we give a lot of content out on that. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun. So definitely check that out. But yeah, we're excited for this YouTube page that we're starting because it's going to be a great way for us to give a lot of different information out regarding sexual assault, like how to talk to kiddos about it and just different things like that. So we're probably not going to make the videos as long as this one is. This is an introduction of like everything we do. We're going to probably try to keep it 5-10 minutes because I know super quick and easy to watch. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. But
yeah, we had a lot of information in this video, but there's more to come, more fun activities.
Yeah.
We're trying to make it as fun. I know it's a hard topic and to talk about sometimes, but we try to bring some lightheartedness to it. So just be on the lookout for
that. Well, I think that is all. Thanks for joining us. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.